How's it going?
I'm just waiting for Lumi's rap. Like, can we get through the games real quick and skip to that?
I think Lumi asked me for a couple more days because rapping ain't easy. Not easy.
What else is new?
So yeah,
Lumi wanted some time off.
we'll have it for I think for the finals day.
I've never done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to rap?
You don't want to hear me rap.
I kinda do.
LD, let's freestyle.
I have nothing.
Okay.
I gotta prepare if you're
Maybe
gonna put me on
later.
the spot.
Maybe later.
I'm not betting with you though.
You don't want to.
If I rap, it's because I want to.
Okay. So
That's a true sign of a rapper. I want to. All right then, yeah. So let's introduce the teams that are going to be playing. It's going to be DK versus IG, and first up is going to be DK.
So DK Burning, of course, legendary carry player from the Chinese scene, often regarded as the best carry player. And to be honest, he is the best. Unfortunately, he's only rated 9 on the Hexagon. Don't know who did that. Super is going to be the solo mid, who hasn't been playing too well in the tournament, has been missing a lot of bolts when he has played Kunga, but generally a very, very solid player. 3-row is going to be ROTK, who, after yesterday's loss to Tongfu in the DSL finals, almost shed a tear because he felt like he has let down his fan. He has used his Weibo or QQ or whatever the equivalent of Twitter in China to let us know that he's going to be trying his best today. X or MMY, legendary player here, of course, from eHome 2010. Your standard support. And last but not least, our 5-row is going to be QQQ, and that's also 357.
Yeah, and we're going to ignore the hexagon here, to be honest. We're just going to be like, no hexagons today.
We got new shit.
You got new shit?
We got new
let's
shit.
see the new shit then.
What's the new shit?
Stats.
Stats.
Okay.
Bruno's here. We figured it's high time that we make some cool stats overlays for him.
Did you make stat overlays?
Well,
Kawa doesn't
we
look-
didn't make them.
holy
Wow, look at that.
production value.
Alright, so how do we read this?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Basically, average game time in minutes. This is
It's a month-by-month
this
comparison.
is thrilling.
How is this useful for Chinese games again? Because we all know we're going to be here for 80 minutes per
They
game.
play long games.
Basically, what it means is that if you could tell, DK will stop playing averagely around the 37-minute mark, but then Team IG will continue playing.
That's
DK will leave.
exactly how you
So
interpret
DK
this.
get very tired early on. They've only
Yes.
got about 37 minutes, and then their parents will come, pick them up, take them home, and they won't be able to play until tomorrow.
I
And
like-
average win rate.
I like the average win rate for IG and April because
Yeah.
Small sample size. They were undefeated.
That's
it makes
good.
sense. It makes sense. But let's go over to the IG player cards because I do see both teams loading up, and they will be in the draft soon. But we do want to give you a breakdown of who's playing for Invictus Gaming. If you don't already know this team, you definitely should. And here's the position 1 player.
Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, was that-
yeah, that was.
was that
yeah,
me?
yeah,
Okay,
kind
my
of,
bad.
yeah.
Alright. So, alright.
You're way better
I-
at this, dude. You know more about the players than me.
Okay, yeah, he plays 1. I'm going to do it the way that LD does. Just call him. This player plays 2. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Kawa. Let's go. Right. So Ferrari or 车四三零 has been playing again very mediocre solo mid. I felt like the D solo mids for both teams.
Did you
need to
really
step
just
it
call
up.
Ferrari 430 a very mediocre solo mid?
He hasn't been playing well in the tournament.
He
so-
hasn't been his best. I agree
yeah,
there.
Yeah. So
Just your choice of language makes it sound like this player is garbage.
you know what I call?
This is why
I
you-
call Navi scummy and I call everybody out. But
Jesus.
YYF has been playing some legendary windrunner. Let's see if he's gonna be hitting some insane shack with it. That's gonna be a 3-row offlaner. Chuan, the basketballer, the people that break everybody's ankles, including himself, gonna be for a 4-row, and generally a very farm-oriented 4-row. Last but not least, Faith, the captain, the drafter. Sometimes like to play kind of very inventive heroes. We haven't seen too much of that lately either, but all right, here's gonna be your hexagons. Semi-carry 10, clutchness 10, although I haven't been showing it in this tournament.
Yeah. So we'll see how they're going to do versus DK here. It's of course going to be a best of 3. And it is lower bracket. So if you lose this, you're out of the tournament. And then later we're going to watch LGD China versus Na'Vi. But it looks like the first pick has just happened. It's Visage for DK. So we're just going to send it straight into game where LD and Bruno will bring you all the action.
Visage first pick, Bruno.
I'm not surprised, actually. We showed the DK versus Tongfu games, not yesterday. The ones from Alienware Capital were 2 days ago. Visage was one of the key picks. Whoever had that won the tri-lane. Of course, not the most mobile of supports. It's not as good for rotating mid and ganking.
That's a good point.
But that doesn't seem to fit the metagame right now. The metagame right now is about dominating the tri-lanes, going offensive is so needed, means sometimes get a free go, and that's why we see so much Dragon Knight, for example.
I want to point out, I think you guys missed the Dota 2 Super League Grand Finals, but Tongfu figured out a way to deal with this Visage pick, which is you just never go tri-lane versus tri-lane. They were running a lot of dual lanes, a lot of early movement. If you're not in a 3v3, if Visage is just a dual lane support, that hero is way weaker. So
of course,
we'll see if IG was taking notes from Tongfu, if they try to do something similar. But dual lanes, like you mentioned, not the best rotating support, also just not the best dual lane support. He's not horrible, but it's hard to get kills. You really want 3 heroes for the burst damage, enough CC to just lock someone down and blow them up. So dual lanes could be the solution.
That could be a solution, but James could have the solution
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
no, I just want to say, actually, LD, we didn't miss the Super League finals, the Dota Super League finals. We watched it down the pub.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I've never watched Dota at a pub before, sadly.
It's called Pub Stomps. It's pretty cool.
To give people an idea, yesterday I kidnapped half of BTS studio and took them all down the pub, and poor LD was like, "Where is my producer, co-commentator?" But did an amazing
and my
job.
panel.
Yeah, but he did an amazing job solo casting. But it was done in 3 games, right? At the best of 5.
Yeah, it
very
turned out not
frustrating.
to be a great series, so I blame you guys for not being here. The teams, there's no James, there's no Bruno, there's
was
no
no
Lumi.
motivation.
They said, screw it, we're just gonna throw in the towel.
I love how you
I'm
didn't
sure this
mention
one will be
Merlini not
better.
being here. Obviously, you don't care about him.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he's only here in body, not in spirit. He's playing Puzzles and Dragons, man. That's all he cares about.
Product placement. Invictus Gaming goes for Shadow Demon and Chen, and this reminds me of old G1 League kind of IG, the time when they were dominating. They picked these 2 supports, they roamed a lot, and I think we will not, I know we will not be seeing a tri-lane from them.
I would be shocked if we saw a tri-lane. When you see IG pick these, I would say they're the most aggressive Chinese team, although recently teams like Rattlesnake and Tongfu, kind of I wouldn't say upstarts, but less famous teams have been turning to a more aggressive style. But yeah, IG kind of invented aggression in the Chinese scene. They're the team that's been running aggressive tri-lanes for a long time. They love to get Zhou, as well as 430 1v1s, like true 1v1s, and put so much pressure on the enemy tri-lane that their supports are forced to stay there. So we'll see how they look to use this dual roam, but whenever you pick Shadow Demon Chen, if you want a dual roam, you really want strong laning solos. So we'll probably see heroes like Windrunner, I would say Darkseer, but he gets banned here. Something that doesn't need a lot of help should be the choice for IG if they want to roam.
Not only is this something that doesn't need help, but also needs to be survivable, because the amount of damage that Gyrocopter and Visage can deal just by themselves, you get a Rocket Barrage, then a Fall Assumption with full charges, pretty much kills every support in
Ouchie.
1 or 2. Yeah,
Ouch.
exactly. So
The one thing they don't have here is an initiating spell. There's no Ice Path, there's no Fissure. We see Nyx Assassin getting banned by IG, so that's something DK will need to pick up if they want to find kills.
of course, they have lots of choices to go there. They shouldn't need to worry that much. They do decide to ban the Dragon Knight, and Invictus Gaming replies by banning the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin would work very well. It would also even allow you, if you wanted to, even go offensive with that tri-lane. But the way DK has been playing recently, maybe we see something like Crystal Maiden, something like that.
Yeah, something aggressive could be the choice for them. They've been running. They were actually running Crystal Maiden, and I can't remember what the other support was. I don't know if it was Visage, but it was another.
Undying, they did as
Yeah,
well.
Undying. That's been their choice when they sense an aggressive tri-lane coming. I don't think Undying is really the best choice against, say, a Chen Shadow Demon. It's not going to help you too much against the Chen creeps, but obviously it's great in a 3v3 in the laning scenario. But something like a CM also does pretty well against Chen. You can Frostbite the creeps. It lasts for a really long time. You can farm pretty early in the neutrals. And interestingly enough, DK are going to ban out an anti-mage. IG has run the anti-mage at times, but
it's not their favorite hero.
it's not a go-to for them. So DK just wanting to secure the late game with this ban.
What I find interesting in these situations when Invictus Gaming, of course, they go for the Shadow Demon and Chen because they know if they don't get in the first 2 picks, well, at least one of those 2 will get banned or picked by DK. But when you know that the enemy is playing 3 solo lanes, you have a choice, right? You can go with the tri-lane and you can go defensive, in which case you will be paired against probably an off-laner like, well, Darkseer is not here, but something survivable. Or you can put the pressure in their safe lane, which means you normally for the safe lane you want a carry that can solo carry 1v1.
Yeah.
But if you put an offensive tri-lane against a guy that supports like Gyrocopter solo,
Yeah, or a lone druid.
or lone druid, then that guy will not get anything. That you will force some rotations, and it's very interesting. And we see now one of the first 3 solos from Invictus Gaming. It will be the Nature's Prophet. And we'll see again, that's one of the offlaners that you can actually apply a lot of pressure to, and we'll have to force to go to jungle.
Yeah, I mean, this could just be IG trying to 4-man DK safe lane. You have Prophet, you could see Virtus Pro style Dota, safe lane Prophet, aggressive not aggressive tri-lane, but the dual jungle and then a +1 in the lane. All 4 heroes descend on the tower. You try and crush the Visage before he hits level 6, before he gets levels. Winter is a big proponent of running junglers to counter Visage because Visage can't do anything against Chen creeps.
Right.
He really wants level 6. Chen can take the, and especially Enchantress, can bring the pressure on early. So maybe that's something IG will have in mind. I know the Chinese netizens will cringe, though, if Zhou is playing the Nature's Prophet, because his win rate on this hero is not the best.
Nope.
In general, it seems like it's not his strongest hero, but we'll see who's playing the Prophet. It's still entirely up in the air.
I'm a little bit concerned, though, because let's say the Nature's Prophet is not having a good lane for whatever reason. If, let's say, they go and apply the pressure on him instead of vice versa, well, there's a Chen in the jungle, so he will have to either go to farm the enemy jungle or just share, which is not the optimal situation right there. Normally, when you get a Nature's Prophet, you don't get a jungler, so if push comes to shove, we see lots of kappas.
I'm easily amused. Sorry.
Yeah. If push comes to shove, you can always rotate the Nature's Prophet there. But now, with Chen, we will have to be what to do with the Nature's Prophet. And now comes Ferrari's hero, and this is a Ferrari's hero.
Again, we got a little heyo out of Lumi here.
Yeah.
And so actually, I'd love to see what Lumi thinks about this draft, as well as the Templar Assassin pick for 430.
I remember we were casting that one game.
Oh, yeah.
The Broodmother one?
There was
I
a
lost my
Broodmother
shit.
that where you lost your shit, where he literally invented the word Ferrari somebody, which basically means you're cycling off random stuff onto invisible hero for kills. He is by far one of the most amazing Templar Assassin players in China, even better than G when G kind of moved over. Stormster is going to be the counter pickup. I think Templar Assassin is going to have a very easy time if Storm is going to be the easy lane or in the same lane. And Invictus Gaming is looking to snowball out of control with their early push. You have Chen, you have Prophet. They don't have too many stuns, but I don't think they are looking to take any direct engagement. They're saying, hey, we're going to come straight to your towers. What are you going to do about it? And there's just so much stuff in the front line that it's hard for DK to fight. Call down is going to be your big spell. Storm level 6 is going to be big, but I think Invictus Gaming is going to take control early.
To piggyback off of what Lumi said, if this Storm does get level 6, they have 0 reliable stuns right now. Maybe a disruption into a Centaur Stomp. Hard laning stage for Storm, he could be total food because Templar Assassin already does pretty well 1v1. Doesn't necessarily crush him, but does pretty well. Then Shadow Demon Chen can smoke gank, rotate, put early pressure mid, and Prophet can TP. So it could be 4 heroes descending on mid. But if this Storm can get level 6, there's 0 stuns.
Yep, and he will be able to just jump around. Sometimes you say, well, at least you have the Sprout from the Nature's Prophet, but not even in this case. The Sprout does nothing against just one small seep, which is less than 100 mana, and you just break the trees, walk away. Very interesting pick, very risky, I would say, from DK, because they're banking on surviving that early lane, which Storm Spirit, due to not having any kind of damage over time spell or way to deal lots of damage instances at the same time, that will mean that the refraction will just pretty much...
I believe I remember Blitz or Purge was saying that Overload is a separate damage
instance,
so
it's two. But still...
But it's still not. It's not a Shadow Poison or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Templar Assassin will not be worried about this. Wow.
Well, they needed a lot of lockdown for this Storm. They'll get it at times with a Doom, but Doom has a very long cooldown.
This is a counter pick. I don't think this was planned.
Yeah, I think they got forced into this.
And this is actually interesting because this is a solo Doom.
Yeah, you're right. Prophet, TA, Doom, those should be your 3 solos.
And, I mean, Doom is not the best solo in the world.
I wonder where they're going to lane him, because Doom will not have a good time against a Rubik Visage Gyro Tri-Lane.
Nope.
He will not even have a good time 1v1 against the Gyrocopter if they want to do something else with their Tri-Lane. There's not one hero in this pool that he's going to win the lane against. Maybe he can break even against some. Even a Clockwork is a tough matchup.
I mean, Doom is a very weak laner, not only because of that 1 base armor. Used to be 0. Now it's 1 at least.
Yeah.
But also because he lacks the power of doing anything. Yeah, he gets a little bit of heal with the Scorched Earth. You will need Devour because that's the spell that you rely on to...
And he needs good Devour luck. Like, he's got to find a good creep early.
Exactly.
Otherwise, Clockwork is going to own him. Because you get hit by Cogs twice, and you're pretty much out of mana. Yeah. Doom has an awful mana pool. His int gain isn't great. His base int is not great. So Cogs could be his downfall in this laning stage. If that's the matchup, we'll see if it is, though.
I'm going to go here and about the Clockwork. In a 1v1 situation, Battery is great. I think Battery Assault is normally the spell you want to max. But sometimes, in some cases, I do like some players that max Cogs.
Yeah.
At the beginning, just because if you get to level, say level 5, 150 mana drain every time you hit the Cogs, and if you do it well, the opponents will hit it twice. That destroys so many heroes.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's actually, I believe it's 120, but yeah, it still really adds up.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you can spam cogs. It has almost no mana cost associated with it. Very cheap, even at level 4, it's only 80 mana. I know Bulba, who is probably one of the players that's played the most Clockwork out of anyone, is a big proponent of maxing battery assault first to 1v1s.
He doesn't like my idea of...
But I think you can still get 2 points in cogs, maybe not early, but definitely by the time that you say hit level 7. You could have 4 points in battery assault, 2 points in cogs, 1 point in the rocket flare, and then a point in the hook. So I think that's a very strong 1v1 matchup. I will mention ROTK's Clockwork has not always been his strongest hero as of late. It's been hit or miss.
Oh,
I'm
really?
being very politically correct
Oh,
here.
really?
Very gentle.
Are you saying ROTK is a hit or miss kind of player?
Well, especially on the Clockwork.
Because I would agree entirely on that.
Yeah.
I'd say he's... We saw him on the DK versus Tongfu matchup at the Alienware Cup, where he was jumping Nature's Prophet into 4 heroes like it's normal. And surprisingly, and that's the funny thing, he gets kills.
He does.
He finds the way, and then he dies. Spectacularly, I might add.
I just imagine RTK shouting the Chinese equivalent of YOLO!
Yeah. Leroy
Whenever he
Jenkins, even
jumps in.
before that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm old school.
Yeah,
What can I
you're
say?
an old man.
I know.
You and James came, and suddenly we're nearly 30 years in age, average.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I'm 28.
I'm
He's-
27, man.
You're
Bruno,
young, man.
old folks on in the
You're
future
just
for
a
us.
kid. In my times.
Old man Bruno.
I used to play computer without a mouse. I used to play computer in a monochrome.
I used to use a
Screen.
computer with the 5.25 inch floppy disk.
Ah, me too, of course.
The soft floppies.
Yeah, the
Before you youngsters were born.
of course. We used to load
I'm
DOS.
wagging my finger at you right now.
Yeah. What's this Windows fancy thing?
Lumi's probably never even seen a floppy disk in his life. He's a baby, fresh faced, straight out of the mother's womb.
Is that meant to be a double entender?
Holy
No, is it?
shit.
I don't know. Have you seen a floppy disk, Lumi?
Wow.
Anyways, he's a proponent.
You just got that, LD?
Yeah, I was looking in the chat for answers, but they're 2 minutes delayed, so they have none.
Yeah. Let's introduce the teams while we're because everyone has picked their hero and we can talk about it.
Okay, let's do it. On the Radiant side, we've got Invictus Gaming, IG. Joe gonna be playing the Doom this game, so potentially one position Doom. Faith, the Shadow Demon. YYF, your Nature's Prophet. Not a Joe Nature's Prophet, which the netizens will rejoice in. They flame his Nature's Prophet really hard, by the way. So do the Team Liquid posters who are Chinese. 430 on the Templar Assassin, and Chuan.
Chuan seems like he's about to fall from his pig or whatever. He's like, whoa!
Yeah, that's a rather overactive pig, I must say.
it's a very dancing. Zoom into it.
Ugh.
It's a dancing
I
pig.
don't want to get close to that.
like,
That looks
yay.
smelly as hell.
Anyways, for the side of DK, we have MMY, Die X, however you want to call him, playing the Rubik. ROTK playing the Clockwork. LD says he's hit or miss. I have to agree with that. But we'll see what happens against probably a Doom in the lane. QQQ playing the Visage. Super will be playing that Storm Spirit. Another hero that will probably have a hard time playing against the Templar Assassin. But we'll see what they can do. And of course, Burning, the man, the carry, will be going for the Gyrocopter.
Team DK.
And I have to say, if this goes late game, who do you favor?
I would favor the team that has a Storm where there's only Doom to lock him down until Prophet farms a Scythe of Vice.
Right. Or an Orchid.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, even then, it's still a lot to farm. You normally don't get it naked, so you got to build some other items first. I think DK just have a very hard to lock down lineup, and IG are severely lacking that lockdown. Not even just the Storm, but also Gyrocopter, Clockwork, heroes that do a lot of damage if left unattended. IG have a decent amount of burst here with Soul Catcher, with the TA, but, well, you've got to run into Call Down, you've got to run into Rocket Barrage, and you don't get to stop those heroes from casting their spells while doing so. So I would give DK a slight edge, also being on the Dire side. They'll have the Roshan access, they can stack Ancients and farm them for Gyro while being near the pit, but it's not as though IG doesn't have late game. Their late game is just a bit more item dependent. So with that being said, we'll have it on pause here, Bruno. Here
Yep,
we go.
and we're going to the game. And adding to that, I think the problem with DK is that true late game carries, it's only the Gyrocopter in this game. The Nature's Prophet can get, as you said, very, very dangerous, but it depends sorely on items. Nothing can beat a Gyrocopter with the Divine Rapier if push comes to shove. Let's say DK is at a disadvantage. He goes for that, and suddenly, game becomes hard.
Yeah, game could definitely become hard. Even if Storm goes for Lincolns, there's always Sprout to remove it, so there are some cheeky options here, but it'll be DK as 5 heroes are TK. What else would he be doing? Leading the way ahead of his team. Head into the enemy jungle. Has not skilled anything just yet. If it comes to a level 1 clash, DK should definitely have the edge here, though. This is not something IG want to fight.
Nope.
Prophet, Chen, just horrible level 1 heroes.
Yeah, and Joe, I really like his wings. I really like the set. It's very, very pretty. It seems he's going to be...
I don't know if pretty is the word I'd use.
Well, interesting, at least. ROTK finds Joe and it's like, hey, go away.
Look at this. Get all the way back to your tower.
Go away.
Only ROTK would do that. Everyone else would be like, I'm not going to kill him. I'll just walk in his general direction a little bit. But
yeah.
ROTK posts all the way up. He's a man.
DK going... It's going to be an offensive trialing from DK, apparently, and they're going to put the pressure on that Doom. Doom, if he finds out, he'll probably have to rotate, because with only a Shadow Demon, he will not be able to do much. Oh, no, apparently they're going safe lane. And ROTK is staying there.
I feel for DK, the most important thing to do this game is just secure Storm's level 6. If he doesn't die to a Shadow Demon Disrupt Chen gank combo, if Prophet doesn't come in and kill him and he hits 6, he shouldn't die to TA 1v1 without a haste druid or something like that. So for me, the #1 objective of this game, get super to level 6, don't let him die. Burning's farm, obviously nice. ROTK having a good start, that's nice. But Storm having a good start, very important. I do want to point out, K-Pop Toast mentioned stats dropdowns. Super's first ever Storm game on record in an official match.
Yep.
At least in Dota 2.
We'll see what happens with that. FaZe, of course, deward in the pool. They want to secure some levels into that Shadow Demon, but that Shadow Demon can't pull that much. Because if he does, then suddenly the Doom is alone. And you don't want to leave that guy alone there. Actually, the Doom is jungling right now. Oh, he's probably getting the first level creep. And he gets a Central Stone, which means a little bit of attack speed. And a potential stun that matches to go with the disruption. But that's not enough to kill a clock.
Yeah, definitely not enough to kill a clock. Centaur also just not the best early game creep. Like, sure, you get this Disrupt into Stomp combo, but Clock's not going to be easy to kill without more burst damage. They'll need the Chen there for that. Ideally, I think he just wants something that helps him sustain in lane more. Something like the HP regen creep, the Satyr, perhaps would be ideal here. Or a Dark Troll Warlord if you want to go jungle is nice. But it's not bad. He got something, and maybe they'll go for a kill. Oh, if they get a perfect surround, he could be dead. Oh, they have. Well, never mind that, Bruno. It is the perfect creep. ROTK, completely trapped. I think might go down here. Zhou on the hunt. First blood to IG. Normally, not the perfect creep, but if you get that kind of a surround, micro skills, then it is.
That was a really, really nice surround. I mean, it's really hard to pull off. Sometimes when you're next to the trees or something, you can do it easy with 3, maybe 4 units. But when you're right there, you have to be perfect at executing. Otherwise, that 4 units will not be enough to make the clock allow it to escape.
I'm sure the chat will be saying ROTK disband right about now, but honestly, there's not much he can do. Is he supposed to sit at tower and not get any experience there? That's just a perfect execution by IG.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to check something. Oh, this is really nice. You see the Sentry Ward from...
yeah, Magic Bush.
Yeah, not only that, they did that, and they also warded in another place. So when Radiant pulled the Sentry there, they dewarded the first Observer Ward, and they were like, okay, clearly this camp is dewarded. But there was another ward, and now Faith is trying to understand what's going on. So after that first blood, ROTK will have actually an easy time, because Shadow Demon is forced to rotate, and they're ganking top, maybe.
Yeah, they're heading top, galloping around. Schwann
I don't
as
think
well
they
as
can
Faith.
do much against the Trilane, though. But
I think they really want to kill this Storm, but we'll see, as they were really heading towards top, not really focusing on wrapping around mid. Actually going to abandon the smoke in the end. IG, well, they struck first with that first blood, off to a good start. Have not killed Super, though, who has hit level 3. We'll look at the mid lane, and it's pretty even so far. 3 denies on the extra denies on the TA, but overall CS decent for both heroes. Big thing for me, Super hasn't died yet. You did give up first blood to a Doom, but hey, Clockwork's still going to get levels on this lane left unchecked. IG a bit of wasted time here with that smoke gank. I think everything's still alright for DK, and Burning, of course, is farming. 17 and 4 on him.
yeah, and also the first blood went to the Shadow Demon, which is less of a deal than if it went to Joe.
They've just waddled up mid, and this could be trouble for Super. Around comes Faith, Disrupt is there. Oh, they're going to kill him before he hits level 6. It's a 4-man gank at the tier 1.
Bam.
Prophet TP, even cancel YYF, realizing he's not needed, and indeed he wasn't. That's a big kill. Killing the Storm before he hits 6, that is exactly what the Doctor ordered for IG.
Yeah, and there's not much that Storm can do against this, really. If once he gets disrupted, he's pretty much dead. With the stomp from the center, and actually a really lucky creep to start with. If you get that or the net, you can secure a kill in the Storm. Now he comes back, it's okay, I just died, but I'm going to get a couple more levels, and after I get level 6, it'll be fine. Doom, going for full arcane boots first, something that we've seen very often right now. Doom, as much as you want to play him as a right clicker sometimes when it gets to late game, he really desperately needs the mana early game, otherwise he will be starved for it, or have a very hard time.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice this game also because they have a Chen. So Chuan can just go straight for a mech here if he wants. and Doom's Arcane Boots will be enough in a 5-man situation. It frees up Chuan to rush a mech, and it frees up IG with a mech, with Prophet, and with a decent 5-man. Like I mentioned, they don't have a whole lot of lockdown. They don't have any great team fight heroes, but just a bunch of minions. DK, their early to mid-game AoE isn't the strongest. A lot of these spells, like the cooldown, you don't get them until level 6. It's coming soon. Visage, not a great AoE here. Rubik, pretty underleveled, only 3 right now, and only 2 points of rocket for RTK. So if IG get an early mech, they could definitely take some tier 1s for some fights. So I like the Arcane Boots pick a lot.
Yeah, it will work very well eventually. I want to just point out a little bit something. We see Burning with 30 creeps and 27 for Doom, but if you go to the net worth, Doom pretty much has 300 extra net worth. That's the power of Devour right there. We talked about Alchemist and how he can flash farm a little bit, but Doom is going very greedy. He's maxing Devour, and that max Devour will make a difference because every single creep. Oh, they're going again.
Schwann's on the hunt. There's trap number 1. Super not level 6, and boy, does he drop in a hurry. He'll try and walk away, but Storm, you ain't waddling out of this one. Down goes Super again, and his debut game on Storm Spirit not off to a spectacular start. 0-2, still searching for level 6, and now 430 can single-handedly zone him out of the lane. He's almost level 7. Storm will need someone to sit on this lane. This is where Dai should have a TP scroll, because you got to figure early dual roaming combo plus the Prophet can TP, and they are going to punish your Storm mid.
Storm is coming again. What's he doing? What's he doing? Super.
Super. Teleported right in. Super in a lot of trouble now. The backup comes, but is it in time? 430 still fighting his way out. Drops another trap on the hunt. 430 is cruising. Finds another kill. YYF and Chuan on the way out. Chuan blocking YYF for a second here. Now YYF comes back in. They think they could fight. RTK joins the party as well. It's 6 heroes mid, and RTK will futilely give chase. Yeah, that was not a good TP. I do feel this is where Dai should have had a TP scroll earlier, though. They should be prepared for dives on mid because they're going to try and punish your Storm before it's level 6, knowing they have no way to deal with him later on.
The good thing about that for DK is that they apply so much pressure. They try to put the focus so much in mid that Burning is now pretty much refarming next to their opponent's tier 2 tower in a place that would be normally super dangerous. But he doesn't care because he knew that all the heroes were rotating mid. So now he will head back, but he got 2 extra creep waves that he definitely shouldn't have had.
And Super has nowhere to go. He cannot lane mid. If they want to put him there, they'll need at least 1, possibly 2 supports. Because at this point, it's a level 7 Templar Assassin. Even a Rubik, even a Visage might not be enough to keep him safe against any kind of tower dive. We'll see 430 just confidently camping mid. There is a sentry ward here, but no way to really bring him down. Super desperately trying to get 6, but even once he gets 6, he's already died twice. It is not going to be your fastest Storm game. Oh, sorry, 3 times. Yeah. Not going to be the fastest game of Super's life.
No, and ROTK decides to abandon the outplay, and now he's trying to defend. Right?
They're diving, and Super, where's the backup for him? RTK will come in, but it's too late. He's gone down 4 times in 7 minutes. Well. And now 430 is manning up here. He'll get Grave Chill, but still in the hunt. 15 stick charges are available. He'll pop them now. Needs to get into meld range. Out of tower range, rather, but no engagement. In fact, he's coming back in. 430 says, let's go for the gusto. ROTK on the run is going to walk right over a 430 trap. Detonated at the last possible second still. 430 giving chase. Die on the run. Trap is going to connect. A Sprout is there as well. YYF going for the Treant surrounds. And now the tier 1 mid in jeopardy. Chuan, during this time, farming towards a possible early reign of Basilius. Looks like IG just really want to push. And this tier 1's about to fall. Disruption on your Storm Spirit, still not level 6. We're 8 minutes in, Bruno. This is terrible for Super. Gonna go down again.
Nice.
A side blade to the face, and it's all coming apart at the seams here for DK. QQQ on the run. Calldown gets deployed. Burning, joining this fight near the dire tier 1 mid. Calldown's gonna clip the Chen. He'll bring down the Prophet as well. 430, however, is cleaning up. Has to run from Burning. Cannot fight through Rocket Barrage. And he won't have to. RTK comes in. Cogs can push you out of Meld. He's got to run here. Meld cooling down. Could look to pop it. Right, but I think he might go down. There's no rune for 430. He's got Refraction. He's about to pop it. He's still running. He will. Turn around on RTK. He might get the solo kill. He will. And he lives. And he TP's out. Oh my god. 430 just got a new engine.
That was...
beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, not beautiful if you're DK. I question lots of their decisions in that fight. The fact that Clockwork chased a Templar Assassin that had enough mana to refract. They lacked some focus. They could have killed Ferrari before. They tried to go on Chuan before because it was apparently an easier target. But once you killed Ferrari, you could have gone for Chuan after that very, very easily. Gyrocopter came into the fight, did a lot of damage with the cooldown, but then again, Doom was fast there. He doomed him. He solo killed the Gyrocopter after all the harm was done. And then it was time for Ferrari just to pick off the low HP support heroes.
Bruno, this Doom has a Shadow Blade before Storm Spirit has level 6. And he has Arcane Boots. This is so bad for the Storm. I cannot stress enough how useless Super is going to be this game. They didn't have lockdown to deal with him if he had a good start. But when you start this bad, well, there's no saving you now. IG in firm command of game 1 of this best of 3. 9-2 your score. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is an elimination game. Loser goes home. Zhou now Shadow Bladed up, looking to make a go on Burning. And Burning's in a whole world of trouble. From the backside comes Chuan. Stomp number 1 is there. Now stomp number 2. It's in the bag. Burning will go down. And the one hero who had a decent start on DK now will bite the dust. That's a Shadow Blade gank without Doom. But Doom is coming soon. And still Super, well, finally has hit level 6. 10 minutes in. It feels like 20 minutes in. That's how much pressure he's been under.
Yeah, I mean, what will you do even when you're level 6? Yeah, probably you will not die as easily.
You won't be able to fight.
No, not at all. Look at that. He's at almost 60% HP, and that was just 2 hits from Templar Assassin, which, by the way, has a rune of invisibility, so he can decide to gank as well and do low.
They're going to fight bottom. RTK's deployed some defensive cogs and tries to run. DK, well, there's a Doom on Burning. Not the best Doom as Burning gets disrupted immediately, but should be okay. They toss Zhou back towards the fray, and he'll eat up ROTK. Burning on the run. He is still at an okay, healthy level of HP for the time being. DK will defend their tier 2, but your score now 11-2, 11 minutes in. They can put pressure on top with the Prophet. They can join the fight with 5. And 430 has baited a bit of a trap here. He was in Sentry Ward range, but he's in Viz, so now they won't see him. And he's just camping this out. Dai is so screwed if he doesn't go right now. Back to your tower, Dai, or you will be dead. Well, 430 just going to block the creep camp.
Yep.
Cheeky. Very cheeky.
That works. Now they'll know he's here, but does it matter? Not really. They don't have sentries. They don't have any way to find him anyways. Well, they do have sentries on Dai, but they did not use them. So Ferrari will go back to the lane where Super is. QQQ is forced to actually try and help him. And there's a sentry ward, so will they try to do something?
430 in trouble mid. They do have a decent amount of burst damage. Gets Hand of God it up. Pops his drum charges. There's a disruption available to be used at the last possible second. In comes the turnaround. Super out of mana. 430. Not dead yet. He'll live with 100 HP. Now Faith fighting his way out. Shadow Poison doing so much work. DK are driven back by a lonely Shadow Demon and some Chen creeps. That's pretty sad. They don't even get 430. The early drums making the difference here, as well as Chuan with the Hand of God. Timely teamwork from IG, and they don't lose anyone. And they get RTK again.
This lowly Shadow Demon is a higher level than Super's Storm Spirit, by the way. And he maxed Shadow Poison, meaning he deals an insane amount of damage in teamfights. I really like this pickup right now because IG knew they were going to fight a lot, they were going to rotate a lot. And, I mean, it's greedy, but when you're so ahead, just take it.
Yeah, IG just really... They saw the weak spot in DK's lineup. The big weak spot, yeah, they got that kill on RTK, but the one place they turned to again and again was the Storm Spirit mid. They had a Prophet, they had the dual realm combo, and we're going to see Zhou on the hunt now. RTK could be going down here any second. Shadow Blade auto tech, no. Doesn't want to fight him at the tower, and yeah, there is a sentry now, so he won't be spotted out. But the Storm mid was the big weak point, and if you're DK, you have to know better. They should have had TP earlier on the Rubik, or even just parking him mid to secure Storm level 6, especially after that first death. They didn't, and now they have a useless Storm who can't farm, because if he does, and he doesn't have backup, he gets ganked by Zhou. It's hard for DK to get back in this game. We've said it a lot before in the past, but this is definitely a game where it comes all down to burning, because nobody else is going to be able to do a thing.
Dai got devoured, so at least he will be farming a little bit better.
Maybe that'll get him back in the game.
Well, I mean, it's a Rubik.
It's much needed gold, though. This DK team is very gold starved. Like, you look at their item progression, a lot of heroes with basic boots and nothing significant. Bernie is the only hero who's moved beyond that.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, it doesn't even matter because Burning, he will either have to go for a really big item, but he needs that BKB as well, otherwise he can't fight. And it's funny to say that because this is not, as we said before, IG is not a team with high lockdown, but they have so many things coming from everywhere that it's really hard. It feels that you actually need a BKB no matter what to fight against that, just because of level disadvantage and item disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is Doom is a fantastic anti-carry for a one-core lineup. If they had a farm Storm and a farm Gyro, Doom is significantly less useful, because even if you Doom one, you can't Doom both, and the other one can run roughshod over your team. But when Storm's been shut down this hard, they don't even really need the ult for him. 430 can just walk up the Super, and if Super jumps in to fight, he'll die in a meld crit and 1 and 2 auto attacks. So yeah, it really does. They can just blow Doom on Bernie, and even if he's got BKB, Doom is universal damage. It still goes through. And Gyrocopter, a hero with 4 active abilities. Every single one of his abilities so important in these fights, and won't be able to get any of them off.
And they will apparently try the tier 1 for a tier 1 and a tier 2. Faith is rotating, will probably try to stop this. No, they won't.
They're going to contest this. IG don't want to give up a thing. Their tier 1 mid still online. And now DK must run away. Zhou giving chase, looking for a Doom. RTK not your ideal target. He will cog. Well-crafted escape for him. But QQQ has been Demonic Purge, now trapped up. Could be dropping fast. 430 DD Rude. He wants to slice off somebody's head. Needs 2 hits to do it. Can't. And now we turn to the other side of the fight where RTK bottles up. Tries to live through some Shadow Poison. Coming from Faith. There's your Hand of God. Burning's been caught. Isolated. Doomed and brought down in a hurry. Double damage on 430. Secures the kill. And straight into the Roche Pit. And on DK will tap out. A 15-minute GG. 13-2 your final game score. What a thrashing. What a beatdown. Even DPM's in shock.
Really, really impressive. After watching DK yesterday, they didn't seem to be in top of this game, but I wasn't expecting them to be so destroyed by this IG lineup. A very, very greedy lineup that paid off so well. And I think you'll have to go to that super pick. That Storm Spirit just not only didn't work, it hurt them so much.
Obviously, he made some mistakes. Like when he TP back in right after giving up the, it wasn't the first blood, but it was the first death mid. He TPs in, he dies again immediately. So you can't say that he played perfectly. Like, he made some mistakes, but I also feel they didn't do a very good job of protecting him.
Right.
They should have had a Rubik parked mid, or the Clockwork rotates there. RTK wasn't getting that much out of the off lane. If you run a Storm mid, and they have a dual roam combo and a Prophet, Shadow Demon Chen, and a TA mid, a pretty good burst damage here, they will try to kill your Storm before level 6. And DK didn't do enough to secure it, and as a team, they failed in this game pretty much.
Well, DK will have to improve so much from the drafting stage to the laning stage. And I can't say afterwards because the game pretty much ended after the laning stage.
Yeah.
So they will have to find a way to go into mid game and late game.
I do want to go back to something we talked about, which is the Visage.
Yes.
Because in this game, we saw where Visage is really weak. He's not a great defensive support. He couldn't do much to help the Storm mid. He's not a great roaming support. And if IG, what they did is they picked 2 roaming support, Shadow Demon and Chen. And Visage does very little against that. So this is really how you can punish that Visage pick. That hero has a ridiculous win rate, but, well, if you just never lane against him, Soul Assumption can't really hurt you.
No, absolutely. So we'll be going to game 2 in a little bit, but let's see what James and Luminous have to say about this, right?
Yeah, I actually personally preferred DK's lineup going into this game. I was like, okay, I like the Clockwork on the off lane. That should get something since there's a Chen. You know, you should be okay for a little while to get some XP.
Right. And then they got that disruption off.
Then, yeah, it all kind of went downhill there with the disruption, surround, and War Stomp. And the Storm mid pretty much was the whole story. It's just like the fact that you have a hero that's meant to snowball, or at least be able to do something and have presence on the map.
Right.
And had no presence whatsoever. What do you think they should have been able to do to kind of correct that situation?
I agree with the caster here. I think they have to draft a little bit better. I actually thought the TA versus Storm, Ferrari play a little bit poorly in the beginning. CS-wise, it was like 12-12, and Storm shouldn't be able to keep up when you're in under such heavy damage deficit. I was a little bit worried for Ferrari until Chuan and the Shadow Demon came for a gank. And after that, it was just downhill because, like back in TI2, if you give Templar Assassin just a little bit of edge, he'll just snowball completely out of control, and that's exactly what we saw here today.
Yeah. Also, though, when you go up versus a Chen in the, and your Storm mid, surely
he's gonna be coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so, what like wards? Because they didn't even smoke in. You know that, right? Like the first time they tried smoking, they went round past the behind of Ancients, and I still felt they were gonna go mid. Didn't do so. Wasted a lot of time. If they had a ward somewhere, maybe it could have helped, but I don't know.
Right, dying to the first smoke gank, like, it's understandable, but the big thing was he TP in and died to the second one.
Yeah.
And then he TP in again and died to the third one. I think that's time where you abandon the mid lane a little bit and say, hey, man, I need to jungle to 6 and then I catch up the farm. But he just kept repeatedly going back to lane. The stat says that was his first Storm game. I think Storm is one of the more intricate solo mid heroes. It's not a hero that you could just pick up and say, hey, let's play against the best best Templar assassin in the world. But at the same time, he is a very good solo player, Storm Spirit. But
couldn't you have just put Gyro mid after it went downhill?
Yeah, I think
because even if you put Gyro mid and you actually just sat some of your supports there, you've kind of got your Storm actually getting proper farm on the safe lane.
Yeah.
And then if they want to commit all the way to the safe lane, it's losing your tier 1 tower mid, because you probably would versus a Gyro if he's able to clear out the creeps. you know, losing tier 1 tower top against tier 1 tower mid, I'd rather, you know, take the tier 1 tower mid. But I think it was all over anyway by the time the second game.
It was
came
really
in.
the storm to draft.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point, though, because Gyro does very well 1v1 mid against Templar Assassin.
And also when they try and gank you as well, the amount of damage you can output in terms of even if they get a wall stomp on you.
I mean,
Chen Creeps can somewhat tank Rocket Barrage,
Yeah,
but
that's the thing.
if TA tries to dive you by herself, Refraction is useless against that hero.
No, absolutely.
So, and also the fact that Gyro can do a lot without big items. You know, you still have Call Down, you still have Rocket Barrage, you've got a lot of burst damage. Storm is a hero that needs items. So mana dependent, very squishy, doesn't have that much survivability if he just gets doomed or locked down, so needs a lot of HP. I felt like this is just where DK struggled. They're not the most versatile or adaptable team. A team like Zenith, a team like Tongfu might have run the Gyro mid, but it's just not what DK would have done.
The draft didn't allow you to run Gyro mid just because it was your only guy that could carry the game. I mean, Storm Spirit, if you get some farm, he will be annoying, but then it falls off eventually. If you don't get burning everything, if you don't get the gyrocopter everything, you can't fight past 30 minutes into the game because the Doom, the Nature's Prophet will get bigger. And you know how when you are in the mid lane, it's not the same as getting the safe lane farm. You'll get maybe 60 or a top 70%.
I'm not sure if I agree with that.
I think a Fat Storm would have been so good that game, though, because there was one way to lock him down to the mid game, that was Doom.
I mean, if you remember the Navi game, they put Dendi Storm safe lane top, and they put Havos mid on Gyro or Luna or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, and why not? I don't think they would have won the game still, but it would have given them a better shot in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I think it could have helped.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what DK are going to do next. Both teams are currently in the lobby. I'm going to look over to Kawa for some direction.
You want to look at that stat shit?
He literally just looked at me and said, "Do you want to look at that stat shit?"
And he's like gnawing on his fingernails here, so they
That's what. Yeah. Bring
give
up
us some
the.
stat
bring up the
shit.
stat shit, Kawa. Boom.
I was like wondering if you want to go to like a commercial break or something. But yeah, okay, they've taken away the average win time.
Yeah, cut that
I
by
think
20 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was the GG time on that one? Like
15 minutes.
It was sub 15. Yeah, it was like 14:40 or something.
Okay.
So there's the average win time.
Yeah.
Apparently useless now.
Kills per game, and IG should be the. Normally I find them more aggressive as a.
And they were, if you look
Chinese
at April, but they've slowed down a lot.
But this game's certainly showing us that they've got some decent gaming in them still. But what did you make of Ferrari's performance, LD?
I thought he did great, but it was also a game where it's not the easiest matchup for Storm. If Storm falls behind early, does get crushed. And I thought his team just did such a good job of setting him up. So it's not that 430 played bad. He did everything you could want. But I mean, he should. He should face roll when he has that kind of start.
The other things that wasn't, I think you might have mentioned it once, but it was not just Super not being level 6. ROTK was stuck at level 5 when the mid-fight happened.
Yeah.
And
He only used hook once to try to escape, and he missed his ally. That was his contribution post level 6.
I missed that in the fight, but my God.
He tried to run away, just used hook on a friend. The friend dodged the hook. It's like, no, you're going down, my friend.
Can't touch this.
Nope. So yeah, no, it's. I mean, you can't really analyze this game because it was a stomp. You can't. How many times do you see a mid hero go 0-6 and 0? Right.
And Super is normally not the most aggressive player. He's more of a defensive mid generally. But yeah, he just got destroyed.
Yeah. But well,
His butt. He probably needs some diaper cream after that one. I feel he's got to be a little sore.
it just needs a little bit of water, just freshen it up, forget about this game. I think that's one of the things that some players are very good at and some players are not as good, which is the ability of forgetting about what happened last game and just going to the new one. Actually, James, you were a pro player. You played, of course, not Dota 2, but you played Quake. How do you feel about this? I mean, do you remember this? Maybe you play the game, you were destroyed. No, you never lost, but maybe other teams that you talked with, they were getting destroyed. How they managed to just forget about it and move into the next game?
yeah, you have to. There's no way to play competitive gaming. It's like if you lose a game and you start the next map, it's a whole new game again. And normally I'm a bit arrogant, so every time I lost, I just said, that guy got lucky.
Spawn luck.
yeah, got lucky. This one's but it's the mentality you have is every game. You always envision yourself being able to win, knowing how you want to win,
Right.
and just constantly thinking about what your opponent is doing at all times. I think that's one of the things that IG actually do a lot better than any other team in the tournament. Maybe like Na'Vi in this one, but they play the player more so than the game, and they focus their stratgy and their decision making based off like not just how their lineup's meant to be played, but what situation their enemies are in, and just to take the most advantage of their opponents. And I feel that some other teams actually do focus on playing the game, which is why with this one I would have been like, okay, Super had a bad time mid, let's just swap him for a little bit, get him level 7 top, put the gyro middle, he's got cooldown ready if they want to dive him. Stick a Rubik with him or something, you know, have Visage still pull but have a TP ready. If you know, and they shouldn't want to commit to super top lane, but they didn't adapt. And I think that's something that some teams do really well, and IG didn't need to do anything really well that game apart from just after the first kind of 10 minutes. But yeah, we'll see where they go from here.
This is DK's 4th loss in a row because they dropped 3 games yesterday against Tongfu for the DSL final. So the mentality must be pretty
They can't be
negative.
the best right
now.
now.
So let's see if they can bounce back. They have to win the remaining 2 games against IG, and IG looks solid game 1. So.
They look solid. For me, the key for DK is to somehow get their early movement under control, because that's really been a problem for them for months now. It's something Merlini's been talking about for a while. I think AUI even talked about it when he came to visit us for the G1 League LAN finals. They just don't move well in the early game. It's sometimes not anticipating the ganks properly. They also pick supports that don't do a whole lot if they move, like Visage. So for me, that's my one key for the game. If DK want to take game 2, they've got to move better in the laning stage.
You could have done so much with DK's lineup in a weird way as well, just like how you could have laned.
Yeah.
Because we got loads of time to fill, so I'll do something. Let's do offensive try. You could have done offensive try lane.
Yeah.
Against a Doom Shadow Demon Chen, it's not that strong. Yeah, you could have punished that.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, but like with the offensive try, it's like you could have actually just had the Clockwork go mid as well. Like Clockwork mid is pretty okay, and Storm safe. Is that bad? You're laughing? What are you laughing at? Is Blitz dancing? Blitz, what are you dancing for?
He's preparing to lose to Cinderin at TI3.
feet.
You didn't hear about that?
Lose what? Oh yeah,
He lost the dance off to
Yeah.
Cinderin. He's still fuming about it. He's in denial.
Blitz is actually one of my backup dancers when I do my rap on the grand final of Alienware Cup. Don't miss it, guys.
Oh yeah, okay. So the rap that Lumi has to do, we probably need like a straw poll with some suggestions in there, and you guys can vote. I've come up with my one that I think should go into the straw poll, and it's Wild Wild West by Will Smith.
Yeah.
Could you say Wild Wild West just for?
Barely. Wow, wow, West. I probably can't say it if it's not rap.
It sounds like YYF.
YYF. I'll just be like YYF because, you know.
So that's my vote. I'm voting Will Smith, Wild Wild West. Have you got any?
I'm going for Lose Yourself, Eminem.
Lose
Because
yourself.
it's really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Lose Yourself, it's very PG-13 for an Eminem song. And it's also like a rap that's normally sung by a white guy, sung by an Asian guy.
Yeah.
Which is really an interesting thing to see.
I want to see this.
Like,
I listen to that at the gym all the time. But
if
if
I
I have
may-
a Lumi version,
if
I'm
I-
going to lift like 50% more weight.
That's true.
If I may throw in a suggestion for myself,
Go on then.
No, you may not.
I'll just throw it out for the straw poll. I do want to actually rap Fresh Prince for Will Smith. It's something I grew
You
up
can do a
watching.
bonus track, but
Bonus track?
we get to choose one. as well.
B-side.
I don't know.
What
I'll
you
do
mean,
it for the
like-
encore because people obviously.
Oh,
yeah.
Obviously they'd be upset if it's just one song that
Exactly.
they've not paid for or tuned in to do. Yeah, so apparently we've got a start in 2 minutes from the admin 3 minutes ago. And it looks like he's just checking if they're going to be ready. I actually think DK are a team that can bounce back, even though they've had a 4-game kind of loss streak. But they just, I don't know, just needs to go a little bit better. Like, I don't feel the draft was bad.
I think the draft was great. It was just how they executed
Well,
it.
Lumi said you
Yeah.
think they should have drafted better, right?
I saw IG's draft and it just was very reminiscent of how they absolutely dominate and win. Like they don't pick any stuns. Like forget stuns. They say we just go at your towers and then good luck.
Did they pick Temple Assassin after or before Storm Spirit?
Yeah, that's my question. I'm actually not sure. I was
think-
wondering.
I think
Can't
it
remember.
was
Could check the VOD.
TA first, but
If they pick TAs first and DK drafted a Storm into that, that's when you just say, what the hell were you doing?
yeah, exactly. Because I seem to remember that, but if it was the other side, the other way around, makes sense.
Right.
Like TA is a great counter to Storm Spirit, just because Storm Spirit is very weak in the lane.
Yeah.
But it was the other way around, and it's a very risky move. It's like saying, okay, I know I'm at a disadvantage. I know I want to make something happen. I will have to survive. I'll have to be playing passive,
Yeah.
which he didn't. I mean, well, he did, but Didn't have the words to see the ganks. Didn't have the preparation. Jumps on TPs in very questionable decisions.
I mean, come on, it doesn't really matter what hero he is. That second TP in, like, that was just a really
he just played
ill-advised
poorly,
TP.
in my opinion, as well.
Maybe he thought other people were gonna TP in
Well,
too.
Team? Where's the
That's
team?
such an LD move. TP in, be like, guys,
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 who are you?
I'm dying here.
Yeah, this is me. What the hell, team? I'm making the select face.
Hey, Kawa, apparently
Kawa.
you're why they're not starting the game. Is this you?
Okay.
Why, Kawa?
I need
Oh,
my
no,
I
we
need
don't
my I
need
need my
that.
ad bucks. We'll take a quick break.
Oh, you want to do ads?
Yeah,
Oh,
I want to do
wait.
ads.
Okay.
I want to get a drink actually.
Hey.
Make
so.
money.
No.
We're gonna go make money here at the Alienware Cup, sponsored by Alienware and Mastercard.
Give me
Money.
your ad views.
Money, money, money.
Yes.